My name's Maria Pattinson. My role with the LFT is to develop mental health and well-being consultancy as a thread that runs through all the projects that the LFT is running. I've been working with the LFT for around 2 years, and I was brought in specifically because a problem around mental health and well-being was identified by the team in Karbala who were developing the sewing projects around mothernomics. What was observed is that some of the mothers who were engaging with the project were actually suffering a lot from lack of confidence, that their home lives were quite chaotic, and some of this was coming back into the training workshops, making it much more difficult for them to concentrate, to absorb the information that they were learning, and to also feel confident that they can see progress in their lives. We know that if we apply a model like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, aid projects very often start with the bottom rung of that hierarchy, that actually we're talking about the needs of survival, being able to have adequate housing, adequate nutrition, adequate water. Those are real basic things, and it's hard for human beings to progress in life if those basics are not there. However, there are other layers, aren't there? And if you and I were in a situation where only our basic needs were being met, I don't think that we'd find life very fulfilling at all. So what we're looking at here is how to start to progress beyond a basic needs element into safety areas, and this is where the wellbeing coach at the Mothernomics project in Karbala has done an amazing job. So what she's been doing is creating an atmosphere of safety, where the mothers, when they've got other challenges that are going on in other areas of their lives, they can talk about those, they can feel understood and supported. And we know that when we've got that resonance with another human being, when we walk alongside them as their support, we develop their confidence to be able to know, this is the next step for me, this is what I know will start to move me towards higher levels of that hierarchy, feeling fulfilled, knowing that my self-esteem and that I matter, all of that starts to create a much deeper and richer experience of human life. So if we take Karbala as an example of this, we know that the LFT supports the mothers who are developing their sewing skills, that are moving towards more economic independence, and of course that enables them to support their families more, so it has a direct impact upon the children as well, the level of education that they can have, but also how a child is brought up with less stress, less anxiety in the household, which makes that child feel more secure. So there's going to be a generational cascading effect. In terms of mental health and well-being and the holistic approach that the LFT is taking, I think it's hugely important that we start to increase all our understanding of the importance of this approach. And we can do that in a number of different ways. We can value the support that is being given into emotional well-being as a key element, not just as a side issue to all of the projects, and see how it can be thread through. And hopefully what we'll notice is the optimizing of all the support that comes into the LFT in a significant uplifting way. But the other thing is sharing that awareness. So when there's opportunities to put messages out, onto Instagram, to be able to have conversations with people, to be able to, all of us, start to think, when we think about health and well-being and the uplifting of whole communities, we are talking about, yes, those physical needs and those needs being met, but we're also thinking about, sharing those smiles, sharing the uplifting moment, and that perpetuates a sense of it can be better. And when those messages go back to people who are in distress in parts of the world where people feel isolated, to know that there are other people around the globe who are thinking about them and sharing their smiles and their messages, that goes such a long way to enable the whole human community to come together and feel that we are all part of one. And that makes a big difference to people.